Bon, yeah, they hold us together, the honey boy, yeah. Nabalike na koya bake na papa bo. Nabalike na koya bake na papa bo. Nabalike la bo, na papa bo. Nabalike la bo, na papa bo. La biro waka poma o. La biro waka ma o. Balanda no waka ma o. I know not from the east to the west, north to the south.
Certainly from the east to the west, north to the south. It is a statement of union. Let's come together and build Liberia. We can only build Liberia when we come together. So today is a brand new edition of the program Open Conversation. Open Conversation is a 2 hour calorific again political program that talks about major happenings in the country. It talks about the astronomical development of the government. It talks about the livelihood of the people and talks about, the positivity of the country. So today I am Washington Tapper Jr. and my colleague is
TT Gibra.
And today we're rocking it with Open Conversation, TT. But shortly, let us just let our viewers, listeners, and followers to know who be our guests for tonight. And it's all superintendent's night. So today we're going to be having two different superintendents from different counties. Specifically, we're going to be talking to Lofa and Bon counties superintendents. We're going to be having Willem Tamba Kamba. You know the name Tamba. So you don't need to ask me when we talk about Lofa.
Okay, you already know where he comes from when you hear Tamba, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And we're going to be having the Iron Lady herself, Esther Walker from Bon County. We're going to be looking deep into the working of the government in these different counties. We understand quite recently that the government has been doing astronomically well through the office of the superintendent. These are things that we're certainly going to look at this evening, and to
And of
introduce
course,
this program,
okay, go ahead.
we start up with the trending issues, and I am going to give you the privilege to talk about what's on your mind as we go to trending issues.
Yeah, I was just about to say that it's good to hear from Lofa and Bone counties. These are big counties in our country, and these are counties where those people who superintendents, they're called the vice jurors of the president, will have an opportunity tonight to tell us how prepared they are, how prepared their county is to help this government as we go towards elections, and what of course can they point to as tangibles in their counties that this government that they serve, or this president whose vice jurors they are, how has he worked in those counties? So these are some of the things we hope to hear from those two superintendents.
And when you talk about huge, something registered in my mind, they also contribute a large number of political decisions in our country. You look at Lofa and Bon County quite recently. These two counties have grown in numbers. So if you are making some serious gains and progress in these counties, obviously you know very well that you are going to get some good political weight in these counties. So these superintendents are going to be quizzed tonight, are going to be asked about how they are executing the president's agenda in these two different counties. So let's go to you with trending.
Absolutely. What's trending today? Last week we were here. This case is a landmark case. That's how we will put it. And last week we talked to a Councillor Gu, and he talked to us about them issuing a rate of statutory, and that was accepted by the judge, the Associate Justice Yamin Betse, and so he was to look into their case or their query or whatever that is. And so when they came the first time former Chief Justice Gloria Musu-Scott and 3 others who have been charged with on several counts, including murder. They came to the court last week. They were at the court, and we were told by Fabian that the former Chief Justice was even acting as one of her own lawyers. She was talking for herself, and they had pleaded with the court, the justice, not the justice, but the judge, Roosevelt Willie. And they said the judge of criminal court A was asked, I wouldn't say the term that they used, but they asked the judge that the government lawyers should provide the evidence in this case. And when the judge agreed to that, and he asked the government lawyers to provide the evidence, but government lawyers took exception. He told them, tomorrow you come back to court. We gave you 24 hours to come back with the evidence. And when we spoke with Councillor Gould, he said that, well, I said, have you produced the evidence as the judge asked you to? He says, no, we didn't. We were given 24 hours, but we took an exception to the justice in chamber, Justice ELBC. And so they asked the judge what they call to issue a rate of a statutory, as it was prayed for by the government lawyers. And so the justice in chambers then, Yamigbese, placed a stay order on the order of the lower court judge, who is Judge Roosevelt Willie. So they had the conference today because it was scheduled for today, and the justice in chambers listened to the case today, and we're told that the justice in chambers declined to issue the rate of statutory as was prayed for by government lawyers. So when we heard that, we decided to contact Councillor Gu again, so because that meant that as long as the rate of statutory as prayed for by government lawyers was declined by the justice in chambers, they had no option now but to produce the evidence that was asked for by Judge Roosevelt Willie. So we are told that on Friday they're going back to criminal court A, where because now after the justice in chambers ruled and declined to issue the rate, it has gone back to criminal court A. So now in criminal court A, we're told that on Friday, Judge Roosevelt Willie is going to listen to the case, and then he's going to tell them what the justice in chambers said, and he's going to give government lawyers a time to produce the evidence.
That's good. I think it's a two-way stuff. The government lawyers will have to do their utmost best, and I think
they don't have any option now because they justice in chambers declined to issue the rate, so now they have to go back and do exactly what Roosevelt Willie of criminal court they asked them to do. Their excuse was, they said that these people who are behind bars have not pled guilty or non guilty to the crime. Why do you want us to produce evidence? And so, but the justice in chambers said, well, he doesn't see any magnitude in their case. So he says, no, you guys, I'm going to deny you. Go back to Roosevelt Willie. And so Willie would tell them when to produce the evidence. And so we'll keep our eyes on this case because it's a landmark case. That former Chief Justice Gloria Musu-Scott and 3 others were charged with different counts, including murder. And so they were in court today, as we're told. So they were in court. She and the 3 other people were in court today, and right after the justice in chambers hearing, they were whisked back to the Monrovia
prison, obviously, because murder seems to be a non-billable stuff. So they have to be there until otherwise. But today, something magnanimous happened. There was a celebration with the U.S. ambassador today.
He's leaving, right?
Yes.
So it's a farewell celebration.
And the government had the government's representative. I think the Minister of Foreign Affairs was there today, and a few top government officials were there. and they even honor him,
Oh, the U.S.
the
ambassador.
U.S. ambassador. They
Okay, that's
honor
good.
him.
I think
So
that's a tradition, isn't it?
exactly, exactly. In spite of the different views on the political issues, the democratic issues, and
It's
all
all
of
part
that
of diplomacy. So
diplomacy.
even though they have, everyone has his or her own view, but when
Mhm.
it comes to that, and you are leaving, when you have a boss who is leaving your office, or that person has another assignment, even if that
Whether
person
good or
wasn't good to
bad,
you, you just,
it's
whether
celebrated.
you're being happy because the person is leaving, or you are happy because you should be happy
Mm,
that you had a very good working relationship. Only God knows. So,
exactly.
but the best thing to do is to pretend to be happy.
Exactly. So,
Mhm.
Max and Blayton today made a very strong and emphatic position on the issue that has to do with the increase in graduation fees, and extensively he spoke about the compulsory purchasing of uniforms on different campuses, because you know that school should be a place where teachers and administrators will provide quality education for the children, because there is this, there is this a clause that people always use, that the children are the future leaders of the country. So that means the academic environment should be a preparatory, venue for children to be prepared. Now, but I think the learning environment now is becoming a place where people have decided to make money, and I think the government is trying to be a little much, muscling on this, trying to be very strong on ensuring that people who are owners and operators of private institutions, don't use the institution to exploit these school going kids parents, or these struggling mothers and fathers who are trying to migrate some kind of way to send their children to school. This has been the mentality of most of these private institutions. Education in our country now, Titi, is just all about money. It's
Whether
just
they're giving proper education to the
certainly.
children is another thing. But everybody wants to own a school because it's a money making thing. We're
Mhm.
getting many in the country. So if you have a child, you have to send that child to school. And so in the community, if somebody has a house that has 3, 4 bedrooms, and they cannot find anybody to rent that place, it's better to make it out of a school. And making it out of a school is just to in some way to exploit parents,
Exactly.
charging,
And
astronomical,
astronomical,
yeah,
yeah.
astronomical fees
Exactly.
just for graduation. Somebody is paying $350. Like, seriously, you're graduating from the ninth grade, you're graduating from 12th grade, you have to go to university, and somebody has to pay 350 US dollars just for one day. And that person is not only looking for that money, because if they pay that money to the school, they're also looking for money for
For
celebration.
celebration, they're
Yeah,
looking for money for
what is the
university.
school doing with that money, that kind of
Mhm.
money? And they don't want people, they are out there telling people that, you need to wear this kind of, clothes to graduate. You need to buy a gown. You guys are wearing this under your gown. It's sad, because the Ministry of Education, and we hope that this time around the ministry will be really, really firm on what they're
Exactly. Very
saying,
robust.
that if any school is caught, that school will be dealt with in line with their policy.
Exactly.
Because if that happens, I heard, we had on the news just a day before yesterday, or yesterday, that a school in Kakata was fined because they paraded casket. Can you imagine, what are these people
What is the
introducing?
what is the
Yeah, coffin.
interpretation
They
of
had a
that?
coffin in the middle of the streets. What is that? I don't know whether it was a symbolic coffin, or they had, uh,
Symbolic of what,
I
Titi?
don't know. I have no idea. But at least thank God that the
Casket
news is
casket is,
that,
is symbolic of death.
yeah, so schools. So what were they doing
So what were
that?
they doing
So they
with
were
casket?
explaining that to the Ministry of Education, but they took a very tough action against them, which is a good thing. But we need to hear about those schools now that are facing punishment because they are charging those high fees to the students.
And I listened to Maxim Blayton. He said that some of these very tough punishments will be they will have to take your lessons. They will have to impose a huge fine, and they will do just so many things so that people don't have that mentality, that built mentality to exploit our struggling parents to send out to school. Titi, school fees now has become so huge, large. Graduation fee now is becoming so
You're
unreasonable.
thinking about paying your children's school fees, and then you also, when you have a child in the ninth grade, or even, I don't even know why people will even, have celebrations when children are graduating from sixth grade, when they're graduating from third grade, they're graduating from ninth grade. What in the world is that?
What have you
Especially,
achieved?
yeah, what have you achieved? What are you trying to prove? That you have money? That is why the schools are
So the
exploiting
schools are
people.
using the
Yeah.
ignorance of these different, entity, occasions. Those occasions that are not important.
Yeah,
They're
charging
using
fees
these
for that.
occasions, to exploit the parents, and the parents are yielding to them. They're yielding to
They're not really
to-
yielding. I don't want to think that they're yielding to them, because I was on Saturday. I just saw a parent who says, somebody, she was just sitting somewhere where we were, and then somebody asked her, "Your daughter should be graduating tomorrow, right?" She said, "Well, she's not going to graduate tomorrow because I don't have the money. The school is charging." And so I didn't get the uniform,
Look at
what
that.
they're wearing.
So
So,
sad.
and that doesn't make the children happy.
Mhm.
If your parent doesn't have the money to make sure that she gets the gown, your mother doesn't have the gown money, she doesn't have, the clothes you're going to wear under the gown, she doesn't have the money, that makes the child sad. And if your child is in the third grade or the sixth grade or the ninth grade and they can't even graduate with their friends, what enthusiasm will they have to continue their education? They don't look at the psyche of the children in that direction.
Exactly.
The schools don't care.
Exactly.
All they want is the money.
It's the money.
The people, in our country, people go to PTA. I don't know why they go there, because sometimes when you go there, these are the kind of things you should be discussing.
But if Titi, let's bring this to a common analogy. If the people who go to PTA meeting actually understand the in-depth of what a PTA should be like, right? So in PTA meeting, these are all of these, different formulas that have been discussed, right? If you run an institution, let's be honest to ourselves. This is the reason why we keep grappling with this thing of education in our country, and a lot of people are infusing into the system, and they're not improving the system, but putting the system into a very deplorable and dilapidated condition. And I think the government needs to stand firm, like you said, and these, decisions or actions that will be taken should be robust, because the education sector in our country now is just all about money making, and the people are not concerned, they're not concentrating on what the children are learning, what
The school
impact.
authorities they don't care.
You see?
Most of them don't care about that, because if you're operating a school and you have children who parents are struggling to get their children in school, and you want those children to learn, because if you're a teacher, all you want is to make sure that the future leaders are built properly for tomorrow.
Exactly.
They're well taught, they are trained, but your attention cannot be on just exploiting the parents,
No, it's
just
wrong.
getting money out of them. And I will think that the Minister of Education is a very strong man. He is very firm
You need
on
to stand up,
decisions
yes.
that he makes, and those policies. We will hope that as schools are graduating students, he will stand up and say, what, if you guys go against the policy, we are going to
They said the money, I think for graduation should be around $5,000. Now, TT, let's be honest to ourselves. If you put into context these different, graduation materials they give to the children, what's the actual cost? How much?
They still have to benefit. But if you pay 5,000, I don't think it's that bad if you pay $5,000. But if you're charging somebody $200 US, $250, $300, then that person, that parent doesn't have just one child, and maybe she or he has
two or three
children. It's just one who's graduating. Mind you, school has to close, and then the following month
it has to reopen.
You have to look for money to get the other children in school. So you can be charging people those kind of fees. But again, it's left with the Ministry of Education to make sure that what they have said, they're going to stand on it. And I bet you, if they find 2-3 schools, every other school will fall in line.
Exactly.
This is Liberia for you. By the time you say no, this is unacceptable, one person is going to try you. If that person tries and they succeed, the other person is going to try, they will succeed, and everybody
will get.
But by the time you start to penalize one school, two, school three, they will fall back. Everybody will start to do the right thing.
See the tuition nowadays, Titi, in different. Somebody just wake up in the morning and just decide without even having any good, libraries, no laboratories, no good campus, nothing good. Look at the classrooms are all deformed. Everything is just bad.
It's also on our parents. Also, it's on the parents, because I'm not going to send my child to any school that I know, it's not up to standard and is charging. There are schools all over the place now. There are schools all over. So you have to do due diligence and check. And not because somebody is charging you this amount of money, you think that person's school is better. But you have to check. Parents, sometimes they just relax and just leave it. They hear from their friends. Their friends say, oh, the school is good. And so you put your child there. So we have work to do as parents.
If you talk about the multiplicity of schools, Titi, now, in our days now, there are just schools are just accepting people without the requisite and the qualified credential, and everybody just in the system, because most of these schools, so if you put the responsibility on the parents, yes, I know the parents have got, their own responsibility to ensure that my child, you think I would not like my daughter to go to, a very good school. I would, but sometimes some of these schools, they just have the past glory legacy. The instructional staff in these schools, most of them are not actually teaching the right
what are
thing.
you talking to your child when your child comes from school? What is the discussion? Parents, we have a part to play.
Exactly.
There are things we should be asking our children if they came from school, and we should talk to them about their teachers. What are they teaching them?
Mm-hmm.
If you understand that, you're not getting what you're putting in, because I can't be spending money and not getting anything out of my child. And if I'm not getting anything out of my child, I'm definitely
going to change the decision.
I'm not going to be, I'm not going to keep my child in this school, because everybody in the community has their child in that school. There are good schools around here.
Mm-hmm.
And those good schools have people who are real teachers, who want the future leaders of this country to be better. There are other schools, schools.
Mm-hmm.
They're just there because they want money.
Exactly.
They want money. And if you are a parent, you have a job to do, because you want your child to be a better child tomorrow, to grow up to be, a better citizen. And for you to do that, the sacrifices you have to make. Some of us, we don't even ask our children questions.
And that's the responsibility of every parent who have their children. Exactly.
Everything but the teachers.
Exactly.
Whatever
and that
happens
is wrong.
there. And there are some parents who their children come from school and they even try to tell them what's happening there, what the teacher is doing. We don't pay attention. But
So
we're not talking about that one. We're talking about, you guys who are running schools in this country,
Mhm.
and especially you, the private school owners. You're the ones who are the problems. And we
The
hope
main
that the
problem-
Ministry of
the main
Education, can
The main
climb
problem.
down on you. By the time they find 2-3 persons, you guys gonna come back and do the right thing.
So lastly, on the trending issues today, the president a couple of weeks, a month ago, he made nominations for the LACC. Today, 3 of those persons made appearance for their confirmation hearing,
Okay.
and unfortunately, they didn't meet the minimum threshold. Now, Titi, the president,
minimum threshold. What does that mean?
yeah,
What
you have to present your how you call it, assets. Your assets,
to declare your
to
assets.
declare your assets.
So they didn't do that today.
No, Titi. Why?
Mm.
They just didn't present it because they didn't take it.
They didn't know that they were going for confirmation
And that's
hearing. They
my
were gonna
point.
ask them that question.
You want to take over an institution like the Anti-Corruption Commission.
Uh-huh.
The president has got the appointing power.
What, is it that they have not declared their assets?
No.
Oh, okay. And how are they going to ask us to declare our assets?
Exactly. This is where we are going as a country. The president has reposed the confidence in these people to go and steer the affairs at the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission. He is not going to be behind them to be running, to tell them, say, you got to do this. No, they should know. These people are inclined with the operations, of confirmation hearing. So they should be informed that I am going for confirmation hearing. These are the requirements. I am going to take over a commission that will be responsible to fight corruption. So what do I need to do? I need to play my card very well. Since the president has reposed this confidence inside of me, I need to build up the confidence of the president. So what they did today, I think, was a demonstration of unfairness, was a demonstration of I don't know how to turn these negativities.
Wow.
Yes.
So you go for confirmation hearing, you haven't declared your assets. And why? So the president should come again and tell you that when you go, before going to, for confirmation hearing, you should declare your assets. That it's really, really sad.
It's sad.
Really, really sad.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
So that is it for trending
That's
issues.
what's trending in Liberia today. So the three nominees were thrown out of confirmation hearing.
They didn't even get their time because can you imagine? You go and take care of LCC, you even declare your assets. They're thrown out today, TT.
Okay, so that would do it for trend. Is that all we have
so
trending
far,
today?
These are the trendings, very, very major trendings issues. So the trending issues will talk about the graduation fees.
I thought you said former Vice President Joseph Boakai was out there.
Mr. Boakai.
What was he doing there?
Mr. Boakai made a statement that upon succeeding as president of the Republic of Liberia, he is going to fight corruption.
Like, seriously?
It's going to be one of his pillows.
Also, we were saying that, we haven't heard what former Vice President Joseph Boakai has to offer this country, because when he goes out, he says he's going to build a slave market. He's going to,
he's going to pave
boost,
all of the roads in 100 days.
Okay, so that's his manifesto. Now he's going to fight corruption. Really?
Yeah.
Okay, he served 12 years, and the former president said corruption was what vampire in her government, right?
Yep.
He didn't listen to that statement from the former president.
So if the former president said corruption was a vampire, do you know the implication, Titi?
What is that?
How do you determine corruption being a vampire? It means those people executing public policy were all the one who introduced the vampire attitude of corruption.
Okay, so it's your time to call us on 0880 514-096. We're done with trending issues. What do you have to say concerning them? It's your time to call us on the number 0880-514-096, and we will listen to you. This is Open Conversation. The conversation is open, and it's your turn. Okay.
Let's just get our stuff up here.
Good evening to Tichino.
Good evening, sir.
And good evening to your co-host.
Good evening.
This is Aloysius Ahmad Sharif, and I'm phoning in from the 72nd SKD Boulevard.
Let's hear you, sir.
I'd like to say thank you for the open conversation. I think this platform is bringing a lot to the Liberian people, because it's an evening-time conversation that most of us want to participate in after coming from some of our hustles. And I think the nominees that the president, they did it to themselves. They did not do it to the president, because I fairly think that you are nominated for a position and you should certify the criteria set in laws with the position you are applying for or you have been nominated for. So for that to today,
we're losing you, sir. We're losing you.
Yeah, I think we got his point.
Yeah,
he said they did it to themselves.
They did it to
anyway,
themselves.
Let's hear this other color.
Good evening. What's your name and where you call from?
Thank you, my brother. This is Rory Abu Mosca. I joined the discussion this evening on District 6 of Essecobo Road. Let me appreciate you guys this morning on the open conversation.
This evening,
even though many of us have been marginalized, when it comes to
what do you mean? What do you mean by that? What do you mean you've been marginalized?
I've been marginalized.
Marginalized. If you come on a platform and you make cat allegations, I'm going to ask you questions. I expect that you will answer my questions. If you don't, I'm going to take you up. No, you didn't.
So please go ahead.
Problem. Now you're making another allegation like you've been marginalized. Marginalized for what? Thank you for taking it back.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, so the open conversation. When it comes to the education must be graduate is to let's be honest. Even everybody who at the Ministry of Education in school, firstly, they should start from their schools. The POC get school, even the minister has his own school. So firstly, they should regulate that own school, that other schools, other private schools will follow their decision. But
okay, let me ask you this question. That's what I like about you, but then you quick to run away. So what is happening in their school that you want them to regulate? What do you know that is wrong happening in their schools? Tell us.
That school is selling uniform there. So the DO.
How much are they selling uniforms in their schools?
In that school, uniform they sell for 150, 160. So
These are
wait. What's the name of the school that is selling uniform for 150? Don't ATT me. That's what I don't like. That's what I don't like. What is the name of the school that is selling uniform? Who buys school uniform for $150 US? Call the name of the school.
Are they still screens to you?
Please call the name of the school.
One, it's Thomas School.
Thomas School is selling 150 for uniform.
When Titi cut you off now, then you say Titi is marginalizing
Can you imagine that? You don't do that. Nobody does that. Nobody sells uniform here for 150.
Thank you, Abu Menska.
Is it on planet Mars? Hello.
It's in Pluto. Good evening. How you doing? What's your name and where you come from?
This is Frederick B. Bush. I do join you from.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, I'm firstly like to say a very big thanks to you guys in the studio for the elaboration on the issue of education. But my issue has to do with it's overcharging of graduation fees after children have paid huge amount of money for their school fee and then paying another additional fees about graduation. They somehow, making some of us feel bad. Like today, I went in a community, I met my uncle, he showed me a clearing for his daughter. The child gave, took wash. What the woman went to about $300 to $400 process. But again, clearing measure $150 for graduation fee. So all of these things actually are very point that the authority need to get
to climb on them. I agree with you. Totally agree with you, sir.
Totally.
Good evening. We'll take 2 more callers and then we go to our guests. Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm Samuel William calling from the SKD community.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I have problem with the graduation fee as you people. First of all, I want to say hi to the studio guests for a good show.
No studio guests.
What I want to know, what is the school private meaning? Because my children are in private and one of them just graduated the fee day from the 6th grade. And I heard you saying there is no need that the children graduate from 6th grade and then have party, but also for private school are charging just for graduation fee where the children have to pass to the 7th grade and charging 80 and even K2 charging $80 US. What more when they are 20, 25, 10, 15 in one class? What the essence of all paying $80 US? What were our children graduating in Ghana?
That's why the government
they give back the gun.
That's why the government is trying to pull up this regulation that they will take stringent measures against these schools that are charging exorbitantly. Hello.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Hello?
What's your name and where you come from?
Yeah, my name is Spring Samuel and I call from Queens this afternoon.
You have the platform.
Okay, let me say thanks to you people for the brilliant discussions. I'm a father of children that attend private institutions and other learning institutions in Liberia. But I feel that the school system in Liberia are not sincere to us. Like my daughter is about to graduate. Up to now, we have not received any clearance from the school because normally what actually happens by attending the WAS results, you should be giving a clearance that we will indicate that you're already passed. So
how do you know she's going to graduate when you haven't received any clearance?
Normally, it's what happens. Because I have people in school.
You're talking about the preliminary clearance?
Thank you. Yeah, for the high school.
So
So if you
that's
graduate,
very
if you pass in the school and you fail what, are you still is
it
the child still going to graduate?
It means that you will not match. You go to research, all right?
Okay.
So what's the essence of receiving preliminary clearance and
Because
you
you
fail
pass in the school.
and you fail the wax?
You pass the school.
You pass the school.
Yeah.
Once you pass the school, yes.
You can reset the wax.
That should be. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So that's it. So up to now, because they are paying the tax, they doesn't want to uphold the government regulations. It is very simple.
Are you off the line? But we hope that the government, will do its best to make sure that
we improve
those who are not living up to its regulations or policies when it comes to the education, the educational system of our country. They should make them to do that. Professor Ansu Soning, I know you're a strong man and you can make that happen because you're very tough. You are an educator, and you should make these people who are running schools around here, who shouldn't even be running schools around here, and are running schools around here, let them do the right thing. Okay, that's how we conclude trending issues this evening. Let's take a short break. When we're back, we talk to our guests, and we told you already that our guests this evening are the superintendents of Bong and Lofa counties. We will be talking about what's happening in their counties, how prepared are they to deliver their counties to the CDC led government again. Are there, tangibles? What are the tangibles? What can they tell us?
What are their glitches?
From the east to the west, north to the south, let's come together as one. They say you're not there, we stand, divided we fight. If we not celebrate, we do it for you. While you forget that, you from Lower County, from Maryland. While you
Welcome to Open Conversation on ELBC Radio. And our guests are already ready to be quizzed this evening. Honorable Superintendents, good evening. Welcome to Open Conversation.
Good evening, Titi.
How are you?
Good evening, Titi.
What do they say in Bon County? Yatwa?
We are okay. As I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to you from MNG Go Camp. We are doing our citizen consultative meeting with the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia.
Okay.
Did I hear you say you are doing citizen consultation, Madam Walker?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what does that mean?
Citizens need to know how they campaign with law and with going. So the Vice President is moving around to see the level of work being done in both county bars. And then from there, we are already in the campaign.
Oh, you're already in the campaign?
From now to next month, that's just from here to the next door.
You're joking. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so how is Bon County doing?
Bon County is okay. Bon County is warming up, gearing up. Come October 10th to re-elect Dr. George Manewia and Vice President Joel Howard Taylor.
Oh, what so? To re-elect President Weah. Yes, to re-elect President. I want to know why you think
Weah, for the level of work done, they need to complete the project that they started, the one they have finished, the new one they started. They need it because the Liberian people need it.
So
this is our first time to see a government that goes to the people, even to the village, and make sure that we have roads, street lights, those places that government is not ready to carry the roads. We have the track, The market, the farmers ride a keke with their children to go on the farm. And so they are working. This government has done a lot, Titi. As I speak to you, Bon County is now gearing. We'll call you for our dedication for the educational complex that is being built on the Lofa Road. The CB Domba had an extension of a story building in a hospital. Bon Technical College, the president completed it. We have a completed library on the other side where the children come from their classes and go to computer lab. The nurses training area, come to Bon County. We don't want to be talking here. Say we want to see face to face so you can see the level of work done here.
Okay, let me hold you there let me hold you there, Superintendent Esther Walker. Let me hold you there a little bit and bring in the superintendent of Lofa County, because there's a lot to talk about. I hear you naming some projects that have been completed. So, and I know the former vice president was just in your county. I will come back to that. Let me hold you a little bit and bring in the superintendent of Lofa County. Superintendent Kamba, good evening. How are you?
As usual, Titi, I'm very grateful and thank you for the invite. Lofa extend greetings. Sitting comfortably in my district, one of my districts, which is 4 years.
You're coming in a little broken, Superintendent Kamba. You're coming in a little broken. Okay. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now. I'm hearing you now.
Okay, I'm registering my appreciation to you for the invite on behalf of the citizens of Lofa County, and I want to thank you for providing me this particular forum to address a number of issues that are of concern to our country, particularly Lofa County.
So, the superintendent, thank you so much, Honorable Soup, and it's good talking to you this evening on Open Conversation. As you know, the conversation is open now, and the superintendent of Bon County has already started the ball rolling. So I'll go straight to you. I'm going to ask you this question first. Does former VP has any tangible investment in Lofa, like, agriculture project? Because we know that Ambassador Bouaka is known to be operating a farm in Bombing County. What do you say to that? I want to know exactly in Lofa County. Does the former vice president have any project in your county that we can point to?
Let me go straight to the point, Titi Giblo. And for those of on this particular platform that are listening to me, they must analyze the situation and the information I'm giving you clearly. Lofa County is the home of the former vice president. As far as this administration, we have not really seen tangibles. I use the word tangible. Yes, he hailed from here, but my question, Titi, that I continue to ask people who continue to give support, and I believe politically we'll be coming out to give these revelations few days from now. We are not in the period of campaign. It's no personal attack, but this is a territory we believe we needed to see. We needed to see. I emphasize that. Those tangible that have been established by the former vice president, but we have not seen it, and so we will be very boastful to appreciate His Excellency, the President of this country, Dr. George Manawiya, for setting or establishing the tangible that are visible, that are benefiting, those tangibles are benefiting the citizens of this county. So we have no reservation to express our appreciation to the president and his government for registering in the minds of Lofians that whatever people say, Lofa is greatly benefiting, and we catalog some of those benefits that Lofa stand to benefit before we can talk about the re-election. Re-election of President George Weah, they are unquestionable. This is not something Lofa is concentrating on right now.
Really? Okay, before my colleague comes in to ask you, let me ask you this follow-up question. I'm sure you follow up on trending issues in our country. Just a day before yesterday, we heard Henry Costa talk about the vice president wanting to mortgage Wologisi were he to president. In 2017, Lofa County predominantly voted VP Boakai at the time on claims that Lofa was a traditional county, voting for an uncle who could not even push for the pavement of the road leading to the Wologisi Mountain. How has that changed today in favor of President Weah or the CDC?
We can say that to you, Tijituple Rajisai. It will be demonstrated on the day of elections. So the issue of change is about establishing the variables. And those variables, it will be demonstrated on the day of election. Why it has changed, you can see, Titi, that Lofa have cried over the years. I was one of those who witnessed the commitment by the former government that upon the second term of Her Excellency, the former president of this country, as soon as she was elected into office, the road from Banga to Lofa would have started. Unfortunately, we compared the second term of that administration, we did not even see a shovel mark. So this is a deception, and thank God that President Weah, after identifying the problem Lofa has been faced with over the years, road is priority number one. During his visit, as we said, road priority number two, up to 4 priorities. And today, we can see that the pavement of the road from Banga to Lofa County, specifically, we are talking about some 65 to 70 kilometers from Banga to Salaye. So why don't we stand the position to be grateful to this government, the president of this country, and give him the second chance, so that as he had divided the Lofa road into phases, we have phase 1 from Banga to Salaye, and phase 2 we have from Salaye to Vonjema. I understand that groundbreaking will be done during maybe a few months or a few weeks from now, from Salaye to Vonjema, the capital, as he promised the Liberian people, particularly Lofians, that all capital of each county will benefit roads. So Lofa stand because he has started, and I.
Superintendent Kamba, we're losing you. I think we're losing you. So let's hold you there, and I'll come back to
that. His re-election, it is unquestionable. Sorry for the interruption.
Yeah, so you said the re-election of the president is unquestionable. Yeah, we're here. Okay. So you said the re-election of the president is unquestionable.
It's unquestionable to Lofans. It's unquestionable to Lofans, because Lofans have realized, Lofa has realized the error in the past. And so this is no question about electing President George Weah.
Okay.
Lofa took the bold step.
Go ahead, Superintendent.
Come in again.
Go ahead, Superintendent.
So Lofa took a bold step to appreciate the president. In this country, let me not be too political, but when the president did a tour, under number 14 was Lofa County. When the president visited this county, Lofa presented the president the highest number of cows in the compared to any other county. There were about 32.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a big mark of appreciation.
So there's a big mark of appreciation. And
I think we're losing you again. So let's leave you for a while and come back to the superintendent of Bone County. Madam Walker, are you with us?
I'm with you, Titi. Good evening again.
Good evening.
Loving people of Liberia.
Hold on.
Okay, Superintendent, come back. Just hold on a little bit. We'll come back to you. Let me ask the Bong Superintendent a question, please.
Yes, go
Madam
ahead.
Walker, Superintendent Walker, were you in the county when former Vice President Joseph Walker visited your county?
Of
When he
course.
passed you? Okay, so I heard you earlier on talking about, the president completed the Bung Community College. I heard you talk about, an extension to
The
the
extension of
PB
the Doma
hospital.
Hospital,
Yeah.
the
Did you listen?
completion of the Bangan Main Street.
Okay, so what do you make of the comments that the former vice president made in your county then? Because he talked about that same college that started during his 12 years attorney when he was in power, and he talked about the the Phoebe Dunbar Hospital. He also talked about Patawi Waterfall. He talked about the Solive Market. So I want you to tell me what you
But
make
where
of.
wait.
I'm waiting.
The former vice president should be ashamed of himself to ask for the market when he know there was no market built by them called selling market. If you
What do you
come
mean?
there, there are posts with Steve Ross standing, no market is there. So why he should be asking at this time when he was vice president of this country, he didn't build a market, he left Steve Ross standing there, then he come back and ask, where is the selling market? Which one of the selling market he's asking for? We should be asking him for that market. He shouldn't even talk about Patawi because they had never in the 12 years visited Patawi. It was under the regime of President Weah. We were instructed to find donors or partners to make sure that Patawi is open. And we put it on the Executive Mansion website. 3 groups applied, and 1 was successful because we say pre-financing. If you go to Patawi today, you will sleep, you will enjoy yourself, you will not see mosquitoes, you will not see the little flies going around your head. VP Bwaka should be ashamed to discuss these issues. Let me tell you, I told you you should visit me, so I will take you all around ELBC crew. I don't want to be talking just in my mouth. There is nowhere called selling market. President Weah had just on a project. They had just planted a big boat to where you're talking about. President Weah coming, he building the market now for the women. The big boat is there. The bond mine market is finished. Salala, Totota, Sanoye. So which one of the selling market the former vice president is asking for? The woman shouldn't be treating all like we are babies, man. He came to Bonkante to walk about maybe. He stayed there, a political rally started 4 o'clock.
We're kind of losing you also. But I'm
He built
superintendent.
no market in Bonkante. No way. I challenge him. I challenge the former vice president if he built a market in Banga.
So what about the Bong Technical College? And you were talking something about the CB Dunbar Hospital.
The CB Dunbar, the extension is now to roof level. As I speak to you, this weekend it will be roof because the hospital we're talking about is small. It cannot hold the population. The population is large. You see, when the old man wants to tell that our grandpa, but let him talk it straight. You shouldn't bend the thing and make it look like true and not true. The Bond Technical College will never finish. It's Dr. George Manning. We are who finish it. Right now, as I'm speaking to you, they're doing finishing touches on the Bond Technical College. It's under President Weah administration. The college has graduated 3 times. So how you will say you're not the one that did it? The 12 years in the college was finished. You know how many graduations they will have? But we are just actually graduation under President Weah. So why the old man would say a story that is not real? There is no selling market anywhere in Bon County for me to see it.
Okay,
the
Madam
total
Superintendent.
market is leaking. The landowner has asked for it, and I just appeal to them to please give us more time because we're fighting to buy land to build our own market. The land that they put that kitchen on, It's not for even them. Before I will say the citizen.
Madam Superintendent, are you getting
Go
me?
ahead, I'm waiting for your question.
Okay, Madam Superintendent, you were talking about all of these things, things done by the president, the construction of all of the markets, the institution, the pavement of the road, and human resource capacity building, and all of that. But in your capacity as a superintendent, I want to ask you and your team, how well and how effective
Yes.
have you been able, you and your team, how well and effective have you been able to articulate the president's, performance in Bond County? Because Bond County now is one of the serious political counties when it comes to numbers in the country. Elections is right around the corners, and you have got a serious
Yes.
responsibility to show that Bond County is being delivered to President Weah. How well have you and your team been able to articulate the president's agenda in Bond County?
We are Martin and I. We are now a team that just sit in office and lay back. I can promise you, I can assure you, God is our strength. Come October, Dr. George Manneh Weah will be re-elected. As I'm speaking to you, I'm in one of the biggest districts, district number 1, because we're moving around. My team and I, we are prepared. I wanted to give you one clarity before I come back to my team. From the Lofa parking to St. Paul River, President Weah, the route, people horses were broken down, made available $1.8 million. Public Works Minister came and we went there to pay the people for their structures that were broken along the road. So nobody will come behind you like tender where they broke people's houses. They never paid, they never even went to them to say a word every time the people blocking road. Let me get that one clear. Back to my team.
Okay.
We are prepared. We are ready. I want you to follow the video from the Vice President office. There are a lot of recording when we're in the field. Tomorrow we have a meeting as David Dinton. Follow that video and you will see some of the work. I keep saying to you, seeing is believing on instead of just talking about it. Reality is what we're telling you.
Madam Superintendent, you have tens of thousands of people listening to you. Probably some of these people that are listening, they do not have the accessibility to watch the video. Can you talk about some of the engagements that you've undertaken?
Come again?
I said that there are tens of thousands of people listening to you. Are you getting me, madam?
Yeah.
Are you getting us?
You're getting us now?
Yes, I'm there.
Yeah, I said there are tens of thousands of people listening to you. Right now, a lot of them may not have the opportunity or the accessibility to watch the video. But you have been the one doing all of these different engagements to promote the president's agenda. So can you tell the people what have been some of your engagements in the county? What have you done and your team? Where have you gone? Where have you been? What are some of the things you've said to the people in the county to convince them about the agenda of the president? These are some of the things we want to hear.
Bond County has 13 districts, and I've been visiting the 13 districts. Only 2 districts remain now for me to do Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And Saturday will be a political rally. In the district, I bring forth. In fact, I document all of the things the president had done. Under the PAPD, all of the president project, the market, the different projects. I documented it. When I moved in the district, I explained to the people, citizen meetings, so they will know what the president had been doing and what making them happy to re-elect President Weah. A month ago, I was on the Ministry of Information press briefing, and I carried documents to show some of the things we are doing in the country and some of the work the president has done, and our own work as a superintendent and the team in the county. Maybe I can send you a copy of that document and you peruse it.
Okay, so
are you there?
Yeah, we're
we are
here.
here.
Madam Superintendent, let me ask you this question before we go to
Yeah,
the scoop of Lofa County. I want you to speak to
yeah.
what critics say about division in Bone County and what impact would that have on a CDC victory, even though the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia hails from your county?
The human
Present.
capacity building, the student, especially the student population. President Weah have offered a lot of scholarship in Bone County, pay WAS fee. The vice president herself, she got her own, the Joel Starfish, and they have sent a lot of students to school. This vision, if you build the capacity of somebody educational wise, you have built a nation, you have built a home. So all of these things that they have done, that's why motivating the citizens to re-elect President Weah. And I can tell
So what do
you,
you say?
all of these
What do
people,
you
they
say?
got their county. Why they didn't go to their country to launch their political launch? Only Bon County is coming because they know Bon County is hot and they will not have seat to sit in Bon County. Gigi, I can show you. They
But
will not one place.
they say your county is divided. You guys are divided in a county. You are not together in
It's
a
not
house
true.
that
That
is
propaganda,
divided against-
that cheap
Okay.
propaganda. It's a cheap propaganda and lies. We are not.
Okay, good. Let's hold you
Let's
there
go to
and go to Lofa
Lofa
County.
County.
Superintendent Kamba, are you there?
Bye. I'm very well standing by, TD.
Okay.
We just hope the
I
network
just
is
want to ask you
sending
this
us up.
question before I leave this whole Wologisi matter, because I know you followed what happened in the Capitol 2 days ago when Henry Costa talked about the former vice president mortgaging Wologisi. You remember, let me take your memory back a little bit. The late Representative Eugene Falakpaka some years ago exposed a VP Bwaka of wanting to sell out Lofa treasured Wologisi Mountain to an Indian Jardin company. What have you made of that kind of deal that didn't go through, though, even though they did not consult the stakeholders at the time of Lofa County? And hearing now that, former Vice President Joseph Walker has said that he's going to give Wologisi to the financiers, would-be financiers of his campaign. What are the people of Lofa County saying about that, and what do you make of that?
There was speculation, TT, when the late using Falakpaka unveiled the secret plan by the former vice president. A lot of people, Lofians who are loyal to the former vice president, they accuse the late Falakpaka of being disrespectful to the former vice president. But I said it to you today that the revelation by Henry Costa, not only to Liberia but the world alike, we have got to know that these plans, they have been long-term planned by the former vice president to mortgage my Wologisi. Now that the issue has been unveiled, it is now the Lofian to take the position and defending their right to protect the reserve of Lofa County. And so on that note, what we can do, citizens of this county who mean well to contribute to the growth of our county, indeed will consult among themselves and know the decision, but not to benefit an individual. And this is what we are seeing. So we thank God that these secret plans have been unveiled in Liberia, particularly Lofa County. I will take this in our mind to know how we can discuss to benefit the unborn generation.
So Banga to Menikoma Highway is being constructed. The Lofa Community College is elevated now to a university level. Can you emphatically say that the sons and daughters of Lofa and this government are going to deliver Lofa, Mr. Superintendent, just as you celebrated when you won the county meet some time ago? Is that going to happen? Is this something that is, a possibility?
Well, we can say to you, Titi,
Mm.
the foundation we have laid in the area of sports has actually captured the minds of every Lofan from everywhere. And so we believe within ourselves, Lofans everywhere have taken sport, especially football and kickball. They are importing sporting activities that have benefited the county. As I speak to you, in my regular county tour, of which I'm on right now, I'm right now in Foya, consulting citizens. Tomorrow I will be having the mass citizen meeting to give them to highlight the importance of this government and what the government is doing for Lofa County, especially with Lofans that are involved in this government.
So give
And
us
so
some
these are some of the...
Tomorrow, Honorable Soup, we will not be there. Can you go, are you too close to the camera? Can you go a little bit back from it? Good. So we will not be there tomorrow. Can you give us some of the achievements of this government in your Lofa County?
They are numerous, Titi.
Okay, let's hear them.
And let me start to carry off first that the building of a nation is start with the molding of the mind. Under this administration, the Lofa County Community College was elevated to a BSc level as a university, full-fledged university. Then you look at the Lofa County electrification, which will be lighted by His Excellency very soon. The Kaha Hydro Plant will benefit the entire Lofa County. That includes the Vanjama City, the Kolahun, the Wanhasa, a part of Lokambe, and Foya. What more can we mention to appreciate this president? You have a multi-thousand town hall built in honor of His Excellency. I personally named that town hall as a Jowia Peace Hall. That is replica of his attitude. That is a peace-minded leader, and that not only Liberia but the world have benefited from his tolerance, his endurance, and these are some of the factors that we can capitalize on to appreciate the president. The president in his government, in addition to what he did by recruiting the children of Lofa County in his government that are contributing towards the infrastructure development of our county. You will know that in a very short time, their electricity will be dedicated. It will benefit the Lofans. What about education that you have? The paying of wire fees that parents are jubilating across the county. So these are numerous, many unnamed that we can mention to you. So these are some of the contributions this man is making in Lofa.
Yeah, I hear you talking
about. Are we there?
Yeah, I hear you talk about, the sons and daughters of Lofa who have been
the echo a little bit giving me.
I hear
the
you.
Echo is giving me a little bit.
You're getting me now?
Are we there?
Yes, I'm right
here.
Yeah,
I can hear you.
Okay, so I heard you talk about the sons and daughters of Lofa who have been included in the government of President Weah. Is that in any way, is it in any way going to shift the political dynamics in favor of the president in your county? And because let's face it, we are told that Lofa County is a traditional county. Whatever happens in this county, you can take this county and bring heaven in Lofa, but we are traditional people and we are going to vote for our uncle because he's in a race. What the president has done in your county or what this government has done in your county, is it going to change the dynamics politically in your county, you think, as we go to the elections?
Titi,
Mm,
mark what I'm saying today. Today, the 12th of July.
okay.
Lofa County has decided to choose development above tradition. We have not avoided our traditional values, but it doesn't necessarily mean we devalue the tradition, but we are looking at tangible that will benefit this country, where promises were made by past administrations, past regime, including the Unity Party regime. We didn't see those tangibles. I said to you, the majority, we requested the president, priority number 1 to 4, that our focus on roads. Because our women, our farmers were involved in cultivating and producing commodities for the market, they didn't have road to transport them. Today, I'm a testimony of the fact that when you leave from Vonjama today to Morovia, you take less than 9 hours. Is that not evidence? That's a clear testimony. Unless we used to take about 10, 12 to 13 hours from Morovia to Vonjama. Today, the road is being reconditioned from Konya to Vonjama. It's a contract that's being awarded by the government. From Vonjama to Foya, they are reconditioning the road through the SSF company. And you have another company that's from Konya to Vonjama. Is that not enough testimony to give us, put us in a very good position to re-elect the president? There are several tangible we have mentioned to you. These are the major ones.
Okay, Mr.
But we can say to you that this president will be re-elected and Lofa are resolved. And so we have chosen development above tradition.
Okay,
it doesn't necessarily mean that we are forgetting about our tradition.
Mr. Superintendent, are you getting me, sir?
Very clear.
Okay, thank you very much. And I listened to how well you articulated the president's agenda in Lofa County. But a very quick question to you.
Lofa, available.
Okay, sir. Lofa is a highly politically traditional county. Now, they have this Joe Bwaka traditional tendency in Lofa that he is the political godfather of Lofa County. That means even if he does not have a senatorial candidate or a senatorial a senator from the Unity Party ticket, he still remains the godfather of Lofa County. So I want to ask you this question, sir. I want you to describe the political viability of Mr. Bwaka in Lofa County. Do you think he still has the population from 2017 up to 2023? Do you think he still have that political magnitude, that political value in Lofa County like he did in 2017? What will you describe him now than 2017? What will be your description?
We will say to you, and I want you to listen carefully.
I'm listening.
The the variable has changed.
Okay.
The variable of the political relevance of the former vice president has changed tremendously. And I said it to you on October 10. The mark will show that he lost political relevance in Lofa. At least to talk about FOIA. FOIA today and FOIA yesterday, there are different variables that have changed under the leadership of President Weah, that FOIA citizens are benefiting. So that when you talk about it, you cannot command the popularity or the number he acquired during 2017 election. The variable has changed. We have seen those tangibles that are being established by this government, and that decision will be made on the day of election.
So
I can say that to you, Claire.
A quick question, a follow-up on this. Are you saying that Mr. Bwaka, who is from Lofa County, who's supposed to have contributed immensely to the human resource capacity and infrastructure development of Lofa County, has not met up to that? Then a man who is a Liberian but is not from Lofa County. What would be your say on that?
What you are saying?
Are you saying, as a superintendent, Mr. Bwaka, who is from Lofa County, who should have tremendously contribute to the human resource capacity and the infrastructure development in Lofa County when he sat as vice president? Are you saying that President Weah contributed more than Mr. Bwaka, even though President Weah is not from Lofa County?
I stand. What I'm giving as a testimony. Do your background investigation. He did not, or he has not, invested in this county 25% of what President Joe Weah had done in this county.
So how many percent will you give him, Mr. Joe Bwaka? Hello, sir. Mr. Joe Bwaka has spent approximately
giving.
Hello, sir. Can you
giving the kind
of give me a second, please?
Giving the are you there?
Give me a second. Mr. Bwaka, the former vice president of the Republic of Liberia, has 42 years of leadership experience, political experience in the country. What percentage will you give him as contribution to Lofa County?
Yeah, we can give him his contribution to the Lofa County could be 25%.
For all of the years he stayed in government?
I can say that to you because you can only listen. TD, copy me correctly.
Okay.
When the incoming representative Thomas Fala entered this territory, FOIA district, what the impact he had made on the citizens and the infrastructure he established in FOIA is not even 10% of Bwaka investment, because what he did in FOIA district is just about 5%, because he only built a house, his personal house. What else can we reference?
Besides the house of former Vice President Bwaka in FOIA, what else can we say? What can you tell us that he has in Lofa County as his personal investment?
I stand to be corrected, because he's my elder brother, and we hail from the same district. Maybe others will be there to testify what he has done that have made positive impact in the life of the younger generation. And so, what I can say to you,
Honorable
as superintendent, is not to my knowledge.
apart from that, his investments in the lives of, the younger generation. I'm talking about his personal investments in the county as former vice president. What can you show that, this is VP Boakai's or former VP Boakai's investments in Lofa County?
He has a house. That's what I know. He has maybe 10 acres, 10 or 15 acres in oil palm in, and maybe cocoa in Wasonga, his own village. I think those who have been visiting Wasonga will help me to estimate the quantity of acres that he planted or he cultivated. But I believe I'm not aware of any other investment in terms of infrastructure. I didn't hear whether he built a bridge, whether he constructed a house, in addition to the house that is leased to Samaritan Purse. And so,
does he have a foundation?
I have no knowledge.
Does he have a foundation in the county?
Foundation in terms of infrastructure, like a house foundation?
No, a foundation where he's, catering to the young people of Lofa County. Maybe,
no, not to my knowledge.
Foundation
except it is done in isolation. But the superintendent is not aware of such foundation.
Oh.
Okay, so to crown this up now, let me ask you this question. I hear you talk about all of what the president of the Republic of Liberia is doing in Lofa County. We know that there was a show of strength when the CDC government supported the current senator and he won, even though the Unity Party candidate in Lofa did not win. But we can say in all fairness that unless the variables are going to change, and I know that's what the CDC government is hoping and praying for, but Prince Johnson is to Nimba County as former Vice President Joseph Yuma Boakai is to Lofa County. Now I hear you talk about all of these investments that this government has done in Lofa County. If you were to put a number to it, what can you say? We're not in 2017 anymore, where the people of Lofa County did not trust that His Excellency will go to any length to make their lives better. Now we're going to elections in October. If you were to put a number to it, what will you say? What is the percentage you think that this government is going to get out of Lofa County?
TT.
Present.
Take note of what I'm going to say to you.
Okay.
CDC in 2017 showed a mark out of the strength of an individual. Speaking to you as superintendent right now.
Okay.
How much will you determine when you have the support of Thomas Pangafala? You have the support of Sekou Kwale. You have support of Chafa Poto. You have support of the incoming Senator Moses Wakoli. What will you say? These are all combined forces that will tell you, even if CDC get 40%, it means we have one Joseph Boakai in Lofa. But be it as it is in a very clear tone, we are going to tussle over 50-50, if not 60-40. That's what I can tell you. Check the numbers.
You sure about that? Do we have
I'm very optimistic. I'm very optimistic, TD. Because we are not sleeping. As I'm telling you right now, on my county tour, I'm in Foya right now. I'll be holding a mass stakeholder meeting tomorrow. I had my traditional meeting in Vonjama district 2 days ago, and I appreciate all of the traditional people and the cooperation they are giving me across the country.
Are the traditional people with you on this one?
I'm very clear. That's what I'm telling you. I have over 400% in attendance. in the town hall meeting in the town. Do your background investigation on the social media. They have pledged their support to the government because it's a government that has established and showing the intangibles of transforming their lives academically,
Okay.
socially, morally.
Okay, so
This
let's come to something
president,
that we haven't talked about. Let's talk. I don't know. For some reason, we've lost the superintendent of Bone County, and so let's continue with you. Lofa was always rated as the breadbasket of Liberia, but that seems, to be changing. What are you doing to uphold that status?
no, let me argue there.
Okay, let's do
Didi,
it. Mm-hmm.
the handicap about the Lofa maintaining the status as the breadbasket of Liberia is only raw.
Is
But
only
in
what?
as much as we have difficulty with raw,
Road.
Lofa is still on the map as a breadbasket of Liberia. That title has not been taken.
What are you producing now?
We're producing rice. We have livestock.
Notions to eat.
Produce to not only to eat, but to market.
Rice only.
We have
rice?
260 metric tons mills built in Lofa County to mill rice from farmers. They polish it, and today you go there, you can buy your rice polished. We're trying to discourage the idea of planting or bringing imported rice into Lofa County. That's why the mills will be dedicated by the president as soon as he visits Lofa County in a short time.
Okay, Mr. Superintendent, a quick question, then we go to the lines. One of the difficult responsibilities in these elections has got to do with the young population. I want you to make a vivid, disclosure of your relationship and how well you've been able to articulate President Weah's agenda with the young people in Lofa County, and how positive you've become to affect, to have this affection, this personal affection with the young people in Lofa County.
Let me go back again to tell you that I made a commitment to the CDC headquarters in Monrovia during the dedication of our late Muna Pena building, the TVEC, the Muna Pena TVEC at the party headquarters. I committed to the party before the national chairman and other officials of the party that in 2023, we are going to turn Lofa into blue. It means it's not by my strength, but because of my relationship with the young generation. That's what I'm called a youth-driven superintendent. And so I have my consultations with the young people, especially if you talk about the leadership of the county. They are evidence of the fact of what I'm telling you. And so we believe our engagement with the young people, it will carry a long way to re-elect the president as evidence of my claims that I have a very good relationship with the young people.
What's the population, the population of registered voters in Lofa now?
Well, the registered population of Lofa is similar 277,000 or 377,000 players.
Is it more this year than the past elections?
Slightly above the past elections.
Oh, okay, great.
Okay, so
we're gonna hold you
there.
And please stay with us. We're gonna open the lines now and hear what those who are listening to you tonight. I know a lot of people who are from Lofa County are listening to you, and others from Bone County also listen to the superintendent of Bone County, and it's their time now to call and make their imports.
So can we announce the numbers?
Yeah, 0880514096 is the number to call, and you'll be live. We already have our very first caller on the line. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Titi. Good evening, Wajima.
Good evening.
Yeah, you know,
What's your
I
name?
have people from Carwell.
Okay.
Yeah, you are very criticizing. I know, Washington, you were not talking anything about Unity Party. The Unity Party government have been doing well in the Republic of Liberia. The same, I can disprove some of those things said by the senator.
The superintendent. The superintendent, please.
Hello?
He's a superintendent, not the senator.
Yes, I can disprove some of those things that was said by the superintendent.
How are you going to disclose what has already been said? How do you disclose something that has already been said?
The superintendent do not even know the number of registered voters in Lofa County as a superintendent.
So okay, so you know now. So what's the number of registered voters in Lofa?
Are you informed about that?
No. I want you to tell me the number of registered voters in Lofa. Tell me now, since you know. No, you will answer before you go further.
So what's the...
That's why I said, I know that you will not give me chance.
Okay, then let's give others chance now who want to participate.
Hello, welcome.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Well, I'm Austin Fuller Victor, and I call from the District Motor County.
Okay, Austin.
I just want to thank the superintendent from Lofa County. I continue to admire his presentation, and we hope that Lofa County will remain blue. My question to the superintendent is that when the late Gaddafi sent a $30 million grant to the office of the former VP Baker for farming, is that active? Did it went off, or what went wrong with that money?
I didn't get the question. I'm not sure whether if he got it, that's fine. It's going to answer you.
I got that question very well.
Okay, good. That's good.
Let's talk to this other caller.
Hello.
Good evening.
Let's go ahead. What's your name?
Good evening.
What's your name?
Oh, thank you very much, brother. Sorry, I didn't hear you clear. Thank you, and thanks to our president, Bishop Titi Chibo.
Oh, Poka.
And thanks to the ELBC family for the brilliant work doing for Liberian people. Congratulations, I'm Poka Rao, and I prefer to be the active chairman for this.
Poka,
Yeah.
we're losing you.
Huh?
We're losing you, Poka.
Okay, I mean, me shake us more.
Okay, you're better off now, Poka. Go ahead.
Okay, no problem. Thank you for the hard work doing you and my sister, my sister, Titi Chibo, the brilliant work.
I'm Washington, Poka. I'm Washington.
Okay, Washington, for the information, the stimulation, and also to the hardworking family of the ELBC family. For the recognitions, I'm Poka Robert, and I prefer to be the acting chairman for the for the re-election of President Development Oriented. We are. PT, so let me say thank you to you, PT. You are doing civil work for Liberian people, and then we will continue to pray, continue to lead and pray for you. To the issue of the superintendent, you have the blessing of the for your
Poka, it's terrible.
Poka, we have to leave you at that because
Poka,
your line is very, very terrible. We can continue with you. Hello.
Hello, madam.
Yes, sir.
I'm a person to calling from Dapolo. Yeah, thank you for the program. I sat quietly and listened to the superintendent. It is not strange. I know because it was.
You're breaking in, or
you will not go against the government. But what frustrating me about his explanation is that he's not fair to the Liberian people. Comparing George, we are in that of Joseph Boga in when it comes to development. It is George Weah is a sitting president, and Joseph Boga served as a vice president before. We all know in history, vice president, you don't get have much power. You can't override president.
Okay, so let me ask you a question now. I know that, the vice president does not have much power, and they can override, the president. So even as a vice president, you don't have any, tangible, nothing you've done in your own county besides building your own house. And you think that's okay for 12 years?
So you don't think
And
you have?
your people should reward you, the presidency, for not doing anything tangible in your own county?
What is the
No. Just answer my question, and you go back to the superintendent. Then we'll make him progress.
There's no proof that he's saying that, or the vice president hasn't done anything.
So what do you know that he has done? Tell us now. You have an opportunity. What has he done? Tell us.
I'm not from the
Okay, thank you for your input. Hello.
Wow, lines are very
What do you mean?
I don't know. Is it raining in all over? Yeah.
Is it raining out there?
Yeah, it's raining.
Oh,
Raining on
okay.
the LC Couple today.
Oh, okay. I see why.
Yeah, and thank you for picking my call. Oh, this is Bobby Abumeska. I joined the Council of District 6 LC Couple Rule. But let me appreciate you, your co-host. Oh, and listening to the superintendent at the even though the superintendent is extending his salary that was granted. But when it comes to real faculty, he said that Plaka is a tradition, on the level of tradition. The people have paid a quantity to women Plaka.
The sign.
So Abu. So you think the people don't have a future, but they're only concerned about tradition?
The role the superintendent is working on right now, saying that getting the glory to the citizen government. That is the role that the unity. When it's so president, we are on that role to do groundbreaking on that role. And I expect the superintendent.
Look at you there, Abu. You said groundbreaking after 12 years, and you think the people of Lofa County are okay with that after 12 years, and you broke grounds and you didn't do the roads? Okay, thank you, Abu. Hello.
Good evening to you.
Good evening to you.
You want to come on?
I'm good.
Thank you. Let me say good afternoon to your co-host.
Good evening.
My name is Mohammed Mkanet, and I speak to you from the Puja and Bala.
Mohammed, can you adjust a little bit because you are coming in distorted?
Okay, I think I'm a little bit better.
You are very, very much better.
Okay, thank you very much. I've been following you on your next show. I think applaud the management for giving the time. I think I need to discuss a key national issue.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you. I want to know from the superintendent, what have been a key rule. For me, I'm always I'm always last in the interest with person engaging with the disabled. From the superintendent, what have been a key rule as a father in the country and as a state superintendent, what have been a key role in landlords or improving the living of the disabled if they come to that issue of education.
Okay. You will answer that question. Okay. Let's take Jala Griffith, who wants to participate on the show. Jala, you're live.
And Mr. Wise, how you doing?
Jala, who we call Wise? Hey, Jala.
Mr. Tabe, what's up?
Good chief.
But you ask the superintendent a question. I didn't expect that question come from you because you are witness of what we saw in Wasonga. In 2015, when I was vice president of the president of Liberia, we took journalists to Lofa County for the World Press Freedom Day celebration, me, Abdullah Tamara, but then I was the vice president. We dispatched reporters in all the towns and villages in Lofa County, you identity. He went to Wasonga. What did he see? Did you see a rare water coming from the well, from the pond got there?
Chala, as a journalist, you know, and I know that you have to play the devil's advocate.
Yeah, I know that. But I just saying that. I know. But you saw raw rare water coming from the pump they had in 1989. Now one pump in Wasonga. I've been in Lofa in the last 4 times in a year, and I see the unprecedented development that someone for the has there. I went to Colabo, I saw what has happened there. The lack of photo, the former president of the Universal Library also organization. But this is honestly right. If you want to just oppose the development that Georgia has done in Lofa County in the last 4 years after you were rejected by the Lofa people, that his and that son, Georgia has an unprecedented history in Lofa. And if Joseph Parker sees that he can win Lofa over Georgia, he must be lying. Don't mind the guys who sit in Moravia and talk with it, and they say what they say. They're not up to the task. They say this because they want to say it. I'm saying to you that Lofa will not be the same. They won one country with Lofa and Georgia won 14, right?
Jala, we hear from the people here in Monrovia, and I hope the superintendent can speak to that. That the people of Lofa have signed a blood covenant or a contract with Joseph Boaka.
Traditional covenant.
That no matter what, it's a secret society pledge to always vote for him, whether he delivers or not.
That thing they put in his country was just about that study, and then we call it voice until we call it to radio Makona or radio DMP law in Lofa, and they play because Lofa candidate. You know what you
Okay, Chala, let's leave you at that.
Today I stood on the street of Foya. Just 3-4 months ago, me everywhere when they were talking for I didn't know this on the radio. I did a street interview, right? I didn't announce that. I didn't say I'm going to do an interview, right? We went in the square of Foya where the lights are blinking. That George Weah and the city put on the road. Just opposite the former Parliamentary House, the late Momo Taylor. We started with an interview, all expected. I saw announced on the radio that we're going to do. The guys giving that number today. That interview has gone to over 40,000 viewers.
Okay.
In that interview, Joseph Brown got 1 vote.
The whole interview.
Got 36 votes. Then Thomas Farah got 38 votes. Then what it is, the other guy is Mo Sarah got 2 votes. Then Steve Zhao got 0. Then there's a guy who came and say, you know what? You know this one. You know the guy there. I just sit down here and they vote my uncle and get 0. He said, I heard about when I was saying my mom they brought me here. There was a situation they said they brought palm here. They were educating people in the way in the 80s or the 70s. I want all against 0. That boy can say I'm a CDC man, but I put not Joseph Walker. Then the women I put about Joseph Walker that time.
Okay.
CDC got 38 votes. Come on, Farah. George got 36 and some of us got 38 on the votes of that day in our fair town. Under the lights that were put there by George Weah and the CDC, on the concrete pavement that is there that was done by George Weah in the last 3 years.
Okay.
There are people who tell you, say, well, here before, you go buy a down ladder from Guinea, you can put on the song, when the song shining on it, it's over there with city.
But that has changed.
They can say our leg.
Okay. We'll see whether that will translate into the votes in October.
Yeah, so the thing is, what I'm going to drama is that
the tangibles.
People don't have no time to say anything about George right now, please. That thing is something here. You know what again? That tradition has failed.
Okay, Jala. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Jala Griffin. He's always in Lofa County, so he's giving his own, perspective of things there. Let's go back to the line. Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Am I clear now?
Absolutely.
Okay, no problem. Thank you, Mr. Tappe. Mr. Thanks to my sister or my visitor, TT, very brilliant. For the recognition once more, I'm Poka Robert, and I'm the chairman for the President Tamapochi for the re-election of President George Manning, developmental oriented. We are. Just to be, I listen to the Philippine and there's what we call popular and a nationalist. Yes, because he was very truthful, he is stopped. And it will pass for you to see what the Philippine or say. It comes to reality, comes to the city. where you will see 60 or 40. 60 will be for the Mate CDC, head about developmental wear, and 40 will be for the purported scandalous. The purported scandalous. Because the method
Y'all pork business. Thank you so much, Poka. Thank you. Thank you.
You will see that we are wonderful.
Okay, Poka, thank you. Thank you, Poka. Welcome. Good evening. Good evening.
I'm J. Sebastian Curry.
Okay.
I'm calling from the Intellectual Response Bureau of the Market Coalition of Democratic Change.
Sebastian, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to appreciate the superintendent. Also, superintendent, you have said it all. You have said it all. The developmental agenda of the president is working, and it's all clear on the wall. Even the late time, my 3 weeks to be making, even see on the wall. So, come October 10th, going to read 11%. We are, but no mistake, no hard great for us as a ruling establishment. So let me say this to the public. Thank you for affording me the opportunity.
Thank you for being in time.
Okay. Thank you also for being a part of the program. Let's hold it there and come back to you, Superintendent Kamba. We've totally lost. Is the Bone County Superintendent back? Okay, she's not back yet. I still be listening to the callers. Somebody was asking a question about the disabled of challenged people in your county. How have they benefited from the goodwill of the president?
Tita, on behalf of the disabled people of Lofa County, I stand also to recommend anybody to do background investigation. Whatever comes from the president to benefit the disabled in the county, it is shared with the disabled. In fact, the leadership of the disabled in the county can bear. Personally, I do take some, assistance to do my intervention. I remember when the group of disabled established the agricultural project in support of our bread basket status. We supported them in Kolahun personally and produced rice and several other interventions we have made. In addition to the county CDF, the development fund that is provided by the county, it is also a portion to satisfy the disabled in the county. I mean, you can do your background investigation. So this is how we have been identifying with the disabled in the county. And so we are very grateful. Whatever the president will provide, we share with the disabled according to the metrics that is being shared with us from the Ministry of Internal Affairs. So we are very happy that the disabled of Lofa County have not, I mean, every human being complain and quarrel is part of human nature. But we believe we're doing our best to identify with the disabled across the county.
So what will you say to, okay, go ahead, please.
I also heard somebody asking the question about the $35 million that were provided by Gaddafi. That was before my ascendancy to this very position I'm occupying right now. I know about the $35 million where McIntyre was supervising or managing. And that was under the direction of the former vice president when an agricultural project was established. That project ended into deadlock.
What do you mean when you
progress? It didn't benefit the district. As I speak to you right now, most of the equipment and material that were brought by McIntyre, they are corroded in Foya. We are about to scrap them, but we cannot scrap them without getting in touch with the Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Internal Affairs. So they didn't benefit the county, and so that it ended.
But let me hold you. let me hold you there. What was the reason behind it, ending in fiasco? What really happened?
Well, the reason of ending in fiasco, which I stand to be corrected. I don't know the in-depth, but practically on the surface, we expected that the payment of labor force to have come from the very money that was there. So all of those who contributed, the land that was provided were not giving the benefit. Those who work, as I speak right now, people at the labor services are still lingering in the district. They were not paid by this agriculture company. And what came behind it? We got to know that the former vice president was.
We're losing you. Superintendent Kamba, are you with us? Well, he's the superintendent of Lofa County, and he's one of our guests this evening on Open Conversation. The conversation is open. We talk about everything here that concerns us as people of Liberia. And tonight on Open Conversation is the superintendent of Bong and Lofa counties. We have lost the superintendent of Bong as Superintendent Esther Walker. Was talking about all of what the government is doing in her Bong County, and she also was trying to demystify the myth. And she said because when the former Vice President Joseph Walker went to Bong County recently, he was talking about Patawi Water for it's
technical
not
college.
the Bong Technical College, the CB Dunbar Hospital, and she says there is even an annex to that hospital that is being done by His Excellency. She talked about the Bong County College that has graduated, that has had 3 graduations now under President George Weah, and it's almost completed. And according to her, under Joseph Yumon Boaka, I was, at the Capitol building, there was a series of complaints on Capitol Hill concerning people, government officials of Bong County, eating money that was for the college, to make the college, to build the college. And that was a serious problem on Capitol Hill. But now the college is completed. According to her, she says, it's under President Weah that the Patawi Water 4 now has gained permanence because a Liberian, they put it up for bid, and then a Liberian now is running that place, and you can go there now and have fun. And so it was, sad on his part to go back to Lofa County. She said there is no market, no slave market there because there are all cereals and poles hanging because they didn't do any market.
I think one of his assertions, he said that
look at the slave market, it's not completed. That's
exactly. Those were the exact words from the vice president,
the former
vice president. And one thing the superintendent of Lofa County said, and he was trying to make that description with the traditional politics in Lofa County. He was trying to talk about the changes of the traditional style of politicking in Lofa County. Now, Titi, to be honest, Liberians are graduating from that style of politics. To be honest, the people are believing now that tradition has relatively got something less to do with their existence. They need improvement. The people cannot be inculcated to tradition all of the days of their life without any infrastructure improvement. That doesn't sound well. So if the people had loved former Vice President Boaka at the time, in spite of their love, he must reciprocate.
Obviously.
When he's in the position to do the delivery for the people, to make sure that the people of Lofa County benefit, from the national cake, he should be there. Somebody talk about Mr. Boaka was not president at the time. But do you know, Titi, that do you know, even though you are the host of the show, do you know I have some influence on the show, and I can translate to you that we can work it out. Mr. Boyka served as vice president, even though he was not the number one man, but he had influence.
You
He
know,
could use.
that's the that's the very sick excuse that the opposition always gives, that the former vice president was the vice president. He didn't have influence over the presidency. You didn't have to have influence over the president
No.
to do something in your town, your hometown. Like Jala said, I went to Wonsonga. I reported from Wonsonga. I know that I interviewed people in Wonsonga who did not even have water, and they were complaining. And I even asked them, with all of these complaints that you were giving, are you going to vote for the former vice president? Okay, he was not on the ticket at the time, but are you going to vote, for the Unity Party government? He said yes, because he's our uncle. But
Political addiction.
yeah, I don't think it's political. I think it's traditional.
Traditional addiction.
But like we say now, that people are gravitating from that, because they themselves have to benefit. You can live. Somebody who is 42 years of age or 45 years of age, who has been a child since the former vice president was in office, in political office, in governance.
Exactly.
And that person is 45 years of age now and has not seen any improvement in their life. What gives that person,
But did you
the
take
zeal to even vote for the former vice president?
Take a flashback now, retrospect. Go back, Titi, and ask for the deliverables. Those things the former vice president Boyka has been able to deliver in Lofa County.
Didn't you hear the superintendent?
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. These things are just personal, personal achievements. We're talking about a county achievement from Vice President Joe Boyka. He sat at the second highest seat in this country. What has he been able to deliver in the county? Go to the county and ask whether this man has been able to deliver, a technical, vocational college on his own.
Even as a vice president, you say you don't have influence over, you didn't have influence over the president. So all of what you had for yourself and your office, you couldn't do anything in Lofa County. And you think that, the people are just going to accept you and just vote for you because you are from the county. I know, there is no bad bush for, a child if you give birth to that child. But in as much as there is no bad bush for a child, you can't continue to send your child to school and they're failing every time, and you expect that you will continue to pay the school fees because you love the child.
It is unfortunate.
Because you also want that child to benefit you when you get older.
It is.
So you're getting older and you don't get any benefit from the child. You still say, you know what, I'm going to support this child. It's not going to.
It is absolutely unfortunate. And the people in Lofa County are trying to take a different political trend.
According to the superintendent.
Exactly. Now, here is it, Titi. To be honest, the people of Lofa County were entrenched into this intrinsic traditional political style of voting because they had believed. And one of the things that serve as a political magnet in the eyes of the Lofians is that their son from the grassroots came from nowhere and became vice president. So that political magnitude came over them, and they thought that Lofa County could have produced, the first president from Lofa County in this country. So regardless of all of the different political tactical moves and all of that, they did not look at, whether Mr. Boyka was helping in whatever way he was helping. They did not look at that. But their focus was all Mr. Boyka to have, ascended to the presidency. Now, but here is it. Even though the people loved you, that doesn't guarantee, or it doesn't mean that they're going to continuously give you that support if there can be no political and infrastructure reciprocity. It doesn't work that way. The people support you. When you get something for yourself, you must be able to turn back to them. Go in Lofa County, ask what has been some of the deliverables. Go ask for like technical vocational education site. How many has he had in Lofa County? Where is he doing some of the major, investments? What has he positively contributed to the people of Lofa County? These are things. These are reasons why the people are going to vote Mr. Boyka, or the people are going to reject him at the polls.
I heard, from the traditional leaders when the president was in Lofa, I remember, and they said to the president that, Mr. President, we're running around here with this tradition, but the people have a tradition also in the county. And those people said to the president that, we do not say no to a sitting president. And we did not vote for you overwhelmingly in 2017, and you have shown us love. We didn't show you love in 2017. We chose our son in 2017. But you have shown us more love.
Exactly.
And traditionally, we don't revolt against, national leadership. And as a result of that, it was it's just saying to the president that because you're the president of the Republic of Liberia and you have shown us more love than we have shown you, we are going to reciprocate. They said it when the president was in Lofa County.
It must always be about reciprocation.
And so I'm talking about tradition now. So because then this is what the traditional people were saying to the president, and I know that it's the hope of the CDC that the traditional people, we know that they always keep their tradition. They said we don't revolt against a certain leadership. That is why we voted the way we voted in 2017. But now you are the president now, and you have shown us more love, and we're going to give you that love.
It is changing.
And I like the fact that the superintendent of Lofa County has come out tonight to talk about what this government is doing.
What's trending in Lofa County?
Yeah, and if you see and hear about what the government is doing in Lofa County that has not happened for the past years or over 12 years, then it's left with the people of Lofa County to decide
exactly,
whether we have seen the strength of Superintendent William Kamba. We saw it, when the president went to Lofa County during the county tour.
A triumphant
I am
welcome.
telling you that because I was in Lofa County. I did not expect the crowd that I saw in Lofa County.
It was a triumphant welcome.
Yeah.
So that means there is
when the government supported a candidate, the people of Lofa County told him, yes, we're going to support that candidate that the CDC, supports in Lofa County. So we wait for the big one, which is the national elections in October. We'll see what, happens. But I know that, the superintendent, commands a lot of respect from the people of Lofa County, and looking at all of those who are, employed in this government from Lofa County, who are behind the president and also in their own different ways.
And probably taking back to that county.
Not probably, they have taken back to their county. They have taken back to their county, development. Every one of them, if you call this person's name, you have something to show that this person is doing in their part of Lofa County they come from. So all of that, we will see whether
these political calculations have its own way to convince and attract the voters or the electorates. So in these elections, it's not going to be about this intrinsic and indelible, love. Yeah, I think we're out of time. Okay. So, so I think it's going to change. The elections is going to be about workability. It's going to be about the impact. It's going to be about your political attraction. It's going to be about how well you have demonstrated leadership and have affected the lives of the people positively. Absolutely. It's not going to be about this normal traditional love and all of that. No. The people have
That's what the people were saying. So we wait and see what happens.
They have reached a point at about this time where they give to you, you give back to them. So it was a good time, a spirited conversation, and we look forward to having a very great one tomorrow.
Absolutely. So thank you all for joining us this evening on Open Conversation, and we see you when we see you tomorrow. Thanks to our team who has always been here, making sure that we are on your screens live and we're on your radio every evening. Anthony Williams, thank you very much. Michael, thank you so much.
Hard working, Michael.
Taka, thank you so much. Have a pleasant evening.
Bye-bye.
From the east to the west, north to the south, yeah, let's come together as one. They say united we stand, divided we fight. If we not celebrate, we do it for Voila, you forget that. You from Lower County, you from Maryland. Voila, you from Rewa City. I'm a bad that way on your tree. I walk on the fine way. Tabila, I love Liberia. Oh yeah, yeah.